Rex Harrison forward, please. Good afternoon. You weren't named for the famous actor?
Was that?
You weren't named for the famous actor?
Hearing aids aren't all that
Okay.
long range.
Welcome.
Your Worship, Councillors, my submission has three themes. Two of them are quite specific, and one of them is general and overarching. I'll start with the two specific. New Zealand is a secular country. It has neither a state religion nor an established church. That means contributions to religious organizations should be voluntary, not de facto compulsory when paid from rates or taxes, which of course applies to the Council's contribution, proposed Council contribution to the Cathedral. In the 2013 census, only 12% of respondents identified themselves as Anglicans. In fact, 48% identified themselves as having no religious affiliation at all. This means that if the grant goes ahead, 88% of the population will be contributing to an institution which only attracts 12% of the population as membership. As well, let's face it, the present situation was forced upon us by a small minority's continuous recourse to the courts. The Anglicans are once happy to live within their insurance payout. Ratepayers should not have to pay for the small minority's stubborn persistence. Infrastructure. I support the medium option in the LTP documents. However, let's face it, it is likely that some prioritization will be necessary. Events change, costs change. The submission process may lead to reprioritization. That being the case, I would argue priority must go to public and environmental health. Roading attracts immediate attention because it's an immediate annoyance, but it must not detract from the long-term health of both the public and the environment. Now for the overarching themes, which is restraint. This is required by the nature of rating. Consider a business, for example. When business is good, they pay more tax. When business slows, not so much. Yet their rates keep going up because they're not in any way tied to their prosperity. They cannot control this. Same applies to homeowners. Incomes may fall, homeowners may be on fixed incomes, yet their rates keep going up. They cannot control this either. The only agency which can control rates is the council around this table. Rates are likely to increase by 25% over the life of the current LTP. This is not sustainable. Cutting facilities based on services is not really an option. Things like the parks, libraries, sporting facilities, and the art gallery, as well as all the conventional infrastructure, contribute an enormous amount to the livability of the city, and cutting those back would be short-sighted. That leaves transfer payments, especially to the business sector, in the name of economic development. These are effectively asking those on low incomes to subsidize the business sector. The council, I would argue, is already doing enough to make the city attractive. It is likely to be asked to do more. For example, providing an all-weather stadium. The Dunedin experience shows the value of such a facility to the city, arguably more than transfer payments to the business sector. In summary, in a secular society, there is no justification for using taxes or rates to support a religious institution. Let people who want the Anglicans to spend more than their insurance payout raise the money themselves. Public and environmental health must be first priority if it becomes necessary to reprioritize capital spending, and restraint must be exercised with rate rises. Let those expecting or seeking council funds reach into their own pockets first. The rest of us can only afford so much. We all have to bear some pain post-earthquake, no way out of it. Let those making demands on the council funds bear their share of that pain. Thank you. I'd be happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Questions? Sarah?
Thank you very much. Just to clarify and then a question. So just clarifying, you are not keen for us to take money from wastewater and put it into roading?
No.
No.
Other way around.
Yeah, that's right. And within the roading budget, there are things which increase public health and environmental health, such as the walkings of footpaths and cycleways. Would you have us prioritise those over roading?
That's quite right.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the way the LTP's put things. I think you've got the
Yep.
priorities about right in the LTP.
Yep.
Now, roading is likely to attract complaints, and unfortunately, cycleways will also attract complaints. But you're quite right. Cycleways, in their own way, contribute to the health and well-being of the city. So I would be reluctant to see them pulled aside in the name of roading someplace else.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Look, thank you very much for your time and contribution, and thank you for making a submission and for fronting up and presenting it in person. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be heard.
Thank you.